Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Kiara here, for those of you who don't know me. And today I'm going to be telling a story. A story that not many people know, or actually a lot of people do know it, but I've never told it from my point of view. So, this story is about the time I quote unquote got bullied. I genuinely don't see this, I never saw it as a bullying story. Honestly, it was always to me a story for my good. It always happened. Everything okay, first of all, let me tell you guys something about myself. Everything that happens to me, in my opinion, always happens for my good. So we're gonna start the story off, backtrack. I used to live in Montreal, and when I lived in Montreal, that was back in the days. I'm not sure how old I was. I was about 14, and I lived in Montreal with my dad and my sister, but I wasn't quite happy, right? So due to the fact that I wasn't happy over there, I was not feeling my school, I was not feeling my friends, I was just not feeling it. And I went to this school that I didn't really like, and I lived this life that I didn't really like. I was basically kind of depressed. Not kind of, I was very depressed, and I didn't like it over there. So my mom had came to visit, and she noticed how sad her daughter truly was, and decided that I decided that I wanted to move back home, which is in Haiti, and I wanted to go to a different school because I was not having it where I was at. That's basically what happened. My mom came in, and back in that time I had two best friends. Let me go and listen to my other story time so I could go see what the name of that first one was. Wait a second, y'all. So yeah, as I was saying, so back in those days I had two best friends. I was best friends with homegirl Nikki from my first story time. My best friend hooked up with my bestie. If y'all didn't watch this yet, y'all need to go watch it now. But back in those days, that was who my best friend was, Nikki. And we're gonna name my other best friend Laura. Nikki and Laura. I don't know where I'm coming up with these names. They actually suck. But Nikki and Laura were my two best friends. Me and Nikki and Laura were a trio, and we were super duper close. And we basically did everything together. Nikki used to live with me back in the days, and me and Laura basically grew up together. So homegirls, besties for life. But after I had moved to Montreal, my homegirls kind of switched up on me. Like, they used to move bad funny. They used to move really funny, if I'm being quite honest with you. And I didn't like it. I noticed that I was getting excluded out of our little circle. But, like, I mean, I didn't make a big deal out of it. I was going through a lot at that time. I was quite depressed, and nobody really knew. So, like, my homegirls didn't know, except for this one friend that I had in Montreal. And I was trying to find the time to really talk to my homegirls about it, but they never really gave me the time of the day. You feel me? Like, they was caught up in teenage stuff. They was caught up in the life, and I was not really living, but whatever. By the time it was time for me to move back to Haiti, my homegirls dropped me, okay? They dropped me, okay? They decided that I was too much of a goody two-shoe for them. Back in those days, I was really innocent. I didn't really do much. I didn't do much when it came to boys. I didn't do much when it came to parties. I didn't do much at all. Like, I just didn't do anything at all. Not even like that, but I just had the right mind. My mind was at the right place. I wish I was still like that, honestly. But my mind was really at the right place, and I used to tell them, like, whenever they would do something that was bad, I was always the mother of the group, kind of trying to tell them, guys, we're not supposed to be doing this. I guess that could be annoying. But back in those days, I didn't really care if I was being annoying, because I was really just looking out for the group. You feel me? My friends, my girlfriends, they had built like a whole reputation for themselves, and I didn't want to be a part of that. You feel me? Like, they were still my homegirls, but I didn't want to be a part of the reputation that was built, because I am an Esther. If you guys don't know Esther from the Bible, Esther is this beautiful young lady from the Bible who has 3 characteristics that God gave her. She has humor, sense of humor, she has beauty, and she has intelligence. So I consider myself as an Esther. And Esther basically was a queen. Well, actually not even. She was just a young girl. She was a Jewish young girl, and back in those days they were trying to kill all of the Jewish people. And she came to seduce the king, because the king was the one trying to kill everybody. She came and she seduced him, basically. Not seduced him, but out of all of the pretty young virgins in the crowd, she was the one that caught the king's attention. And she happened to be a Jew, and back in those days the king was trying to kill all of the Jewish people. So his wife ended up being a Jewish woman, and she basically gave a decree for them not to kill all the Jews. So basically that's the story of Esther. When my mom asked me what school I wanted to go to, during that time when I first came in, my mom gave me the decision. She told me that I could choose the school I wanted to go to, and I was all hyped. There was 2 schools. There was this Christian school, which I had heard a bunch of things about. I was raised in a Christian household, but I had heard that like it was really strict and that it was really hard and all types of bullshit. I had heard a lot of stuff about it, and I was not down to go somewhere with a bunch of set rules and regulations. I didn't feel like it, so I picked this other school that was known for bullying. I literally set myself up for this one, you guys, but that's the school where Nikki went. Nikki went to that school, and my mom had asked me, she was like, are you sure? Like, is this really where you want to go? Blah, 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 blah. And I mean, it was, as far as I'm concerned, like, from what I had heard, it was, like, one of the coolest schools. So, of course, I want to go, the fuck. So, I was like, yeah, like, I'm going to be okay. Like, I'm going to make my own friends. I don't need Nikki. So, I took the test for the school, and I got accepted. And that was basically my new school, y'all. I was ready to go flaunt at my new school. Before school started, my class had, apparently they were super close, and they had a class group chat. And they added me to the class group chat before school even started, I guess because they knew who I was and they basically wanted to get to know me. And I was on there, and you know how kids can be very annoying? I could already tell that I was gonna kind of have a hard time at the school. Not even like that, but the kids basically knowing that me and Nikki had history, they basically tried to come for me all the time because they were friends with Nikki, you feel me? But I didn't care. I have a really strong character. So like within the days before school started, I had already started getting bullied. You feel me? They were already bothering me. So that was whatever. I didn't give a fuck. Skip. First day of school, I go get, like, literally right before school started, I went to go get cute, you guys. I went to go get my hair done. I went to go get my eyebrows done for like the first time ever. And you guys should have seen my eyebrows. It was like it was like a circle. It was terrible. I can't even talk about it. It was bad. Like, I looked a hot mess for my first day of school, if I'm being quite honest. I don't know if other people saw me as a hot mess, but I see myself now as a fucking hot mess. So I started school, and on my first day, when I first got to school, the principal of the school was really close to my mom, and she came to me and she was like, oh, that, like, basically to consider her as a second mom in the school, and that if I have any needs, if I have any problems, to come to her and blah 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 blah. But like, I was like, I won't need you, sis. I'm gonna make my own friends. I'm gonna be okay. Like, I won't need you. Turns out I was wrong. There was a clique of kids who were really nice to the new girls that usually came to that school. And I knew that because when Nikki was new to the school, she was telling me all of the tea. She was talking shit about everybody at the freaking school. I'm not here to put anybody on blast. I'm just telling my truth. He was a really low-key person. So y'all know how Nikki hooked up with my crush. So Nikki did all of these things to me behind my back, but face to face, she would just be really nice to me. And I don't like to beef. I don't like to have any troubles. So I was really nice back. I'm just a really nice person overall. So when I first got to school, there was a clique of kids who Nikki had told me were really nice. I'm gonna give them names. Sharkeisha and Elizabeth. So Sharkeisha and Elizabeth were the two girls who were really cool with everybody. They were nice to everybody, and if you were a new girl, they would accept you in their clique and y'all would be good. You feel me? So that's kind of that was who Nikki's friends were. And these were the girls who really accepted me when I came to the school. Like, Elizabeth was super nice, and Sharkeisha, honestly, truly, she was nice, but I could tell she wanted to be my friend for a reason. You feel me? Like, she had an agenda. For our friendship was not just a friendship. She had an agenda. My first day of class, there was this girl who was really nice, and she was supposed to be basically the person who showed me around the school, but she was really close to Nikki, so it all turned out that she really didn't show me around. I was lost on my way to every single one of my classes. I really had nobody during lunchtime. I sat with a group of boys. It was a hot mess, you guys. What I expected of the school was not what it was, and it basically lived up to its reputation, you know? Everybody was really in their own circle, and all the kids really talked about was materialistic stuff. I didn't feel like I fit in there, not even because, oh my god, I was getting bullied, because I was not getting bullied. I genuinely didn't feel the kids. I didn't like them. And there was this girl, her name was Heather. And Heather, basically, I remember being in class with Heather. I had no classes with Heather because I basically had all AP classes, and not all. And I think for my French class, I'm not quite sure what class it was that I didn't have AP. I didn't have AP math because I suck at math, and I didn't have, like, I'm not sure. But I basically barely ever had classes with Heather. The only classes I had with Heather were history class and, like, I think my math class and my French class. And that's basically it. I remember being in class with Heather and Sharkeisha. And Sharkeisha was talking to me, and Heather was telling me all about how she used to get bullied when she was younger by her own family members, and how, like, they used to hurt her a lot, like, you know, with their words, and that they never liked her, and that now she grew up and now she's the bully, and blah 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 blah. So as y'all can already tell, remember Heather, because she's very important. She is the bully. She called herself that at the beginning of the story. I didn't. So she told me that now that she has her own self-confidence, that she's the bully now. I was like, okay, but why? You told me that you got really hurt when they used to bully me. When they used to bully you, you used to get really hurt, and that used to make you cry. So why are you over here now thinking that you're better than people and bullying them? She was like, oh no, that, you know, it's nothing, it's not a big deal, and that, like, you know, she doesn't hurt anybody, you know, blah 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 blah. Heather was really close to Nikki. And at some point, I realized that Heather didn't like me very much after getting to know me. Not even getting to know me, but after speaking to me, I was really shy and reserved. So, and I honestly, like I said, I didn't feel like I fit in very much. All the kids really did was talk about what they had and their material things, and I'm not a very materialistic person, so I didn't really like to talk to them. I basically hung out with the boys all the time. So every day after school, I would get home, and Heather would talk about me in the class group chat. She would talk about mistakes I made in class. She would talk about questions I asked. She would take random pictures of me and send it to the class group chat. And she would basically be making fun of me. And I had told her to stop. Like, I saw what was going on, and I realized that because Nikki was at the school before me, Nikki was always very quiet about everything. She never said anything, but behind my back, I was really close to her boyfriend at that time, and he was telling me that she used to talk a lot of shit behind my back. So she was saying a whole lot of stuff behind my back, and she got the whole school talking about me. I would like to say the whole school, but not the whole school. She got the whole class talking about me. And to be more specific, she was talking about me with Heather. And Heather, considering that she's the bully, was bullying me on class group chats. But not face-to-face, though. Face-to-face, Heather would stay the away from me. She would stay really far away from me. She did not bother trying me face to face because I told her to stop, and I told her I didn't play that, and I've stood up for myself basically, which is something that a lot of kids didn't really do. To her, I feel like Heather had gained a name for herself, and people basically they liked her. I'm not quite sure why they liked her, because she pretended to be somebody that she was not, and it was pretty obvious. I saw it, everybody else saw it. And Nikki, to me, it was very funny because Nikki was really nice to me, but behind my back she would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and she would make people come for me, but she would never be the one to come for me. So I was like, what's going on here? I don't understand. 2 weeks in, there's a new girl, and Sharkeisha, like I had told y'all, Sharkeisha and Elizabeth were the ones that were really they greeted people when they first came into the school. They were really nice to them. So they were really nice to the new girl, and the new girl was really nice to me. Me and the new girl got along really well. She was like another version of me, honestly, truly. We both didn't mess with people. We were both in our own little circle. So me and her hung out. It was basically the both of us all the time together. During lunchtime, we would sit together. So basically, I was no longer alone. I had a friend. Sharkeisha and Elizabeth, like I said, Sharkeisha is somebody who, when she wants to be your friend, she always has an agenda. So Sharkeisha had an agenda, and Sharkeisha basically came, and even though she didn't like me very much, because at the beginning of the school year, like when it first started, me and her were really close, but she was really nice to me, and she was calling me on the phone every night, talking about, oh, let's do homework together, blah, 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 blah. But then throughout the end of everything, when Heather started bullying me, she decided to side with Heather, and she also started picking on me. They were picking on me for no reason. Like, I would literally ask a question in class and I would get picked on. I would basically, as a new, like, you just start school, I'm not like the smartest person in the world, and I had no classes with them, really. I was in all AP classes, and they were in just regular classes. So the only regular class I had with them, which was like history and math, which is the time that they would take to pick on me. And I didn't find that normal, because I was like, why are you guys picking on me while I'm in all AP classes? I'm just asking questions so I could become smarter than I already am, but y'all are picking on me. I didn't understand. So I always stood up for myself, and me and my homegirl, we basically stayed in our own little circle. Sharkeisha was an instigator. She basically liked to start things on the group chat. They would do this bullshit all the time, where they would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and they would talk about me, and they would expect me not to open up and say anything, and I would tell them to stop. Like, I'm not playing with y'all. Stop talking about me.